So as you can see, I am not at home today. To be precise, I am actually home, but just in another home. Anyhow, I'm not in London at the moment. I went to visit my family in Israel. So I'm here. Woohoo! I'm really happy to be back home and I get to play with my niece, who you guys have seen if you follow me on Instagram. And even though I'm here technically on vacation, I still couldn't really bring myself to not make a video for you guys, considering how we just started our weekly Korean segment recently, and I just am so full with ideas and there's so much I want to share with all of you. So yeah, I decided that whatever, it doesn't matter that my hair is a mess and I didn't put on makeup and that I just came back from the beach. You guys don't mind. So yeah, I can still make this video for you guys. So for those of you who watched the first episode of our weekly Korean, you guys know that we went over pronunciation. Today, I decided to pick a couple of letters because they all have something in common. And those letters are Korean vowels. Yep, today we're going to be talking about Korean vowels. Some of them are quite simple to pronounce for foreigners. Others may be a little bit tricky because they sound really similar, but there is a difference and we're going to be trying to look at that difference today, together. Woohoo! I myself actually sometimes get confused with the pronunciation of some of the vowels because, as I said, some of them are very similar to each other and yeah, I never really know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But let's dive into it. First, we'll just take a quick look at all the easy vowels and then we will dive into the little bit harder ones. Yeah? Okay? Yeah, let's do it. So the first letter is letter A, which is probably the easiest one because I don't think that there's any language that doesn't have a sound A. It sounds pretty much the same when it's by itself or in a word like 갈비 or 아줌마 or 아저씨, you know, it's always ah. For all of you English speakers, don't confuse it with A. Even though in romanization they would use a letter A, it's not A, it's A. The sound is basically as if you just got a genius idea and you're like, ah. Yeah, ah, that's the sound. The second letter is O. And that letter is pretty manageable, but there is another very similar one in Korean that I consider to be quite difficult because they just sound so similar. This letter O, it is quite simple, but when you're pronouncing it in Korean, you should remember that the sound is a little bit more throaty. Is that a word? Throaty? Throaty? Yeah? It comes from your throat basically, from like the bottom. If you can see this part, the Adam's apple, the guys have protruding and girls don't. When I say O, it kind of goes down. O. It's more in the throat. It's not anywhere in the mouth. It's right there. So yeah, keep that in mind because the other letter, actually let's just go with it right now. The other letter, O, it's also an O sound pretty much. In the romanization they use EO to distinguish that between the O sound, but the difference between these two O's essentially is that one of them is more throaty. Sorry if that's not a word, but I still keep on using it. It just describes what I'm trying to say pretty well. O comes more from the throat and O comes more from kind of like right here from your mouth. Yeah, to see their difference in action, let's put a Korean letter, for example, gyo, in front of O. And the sound that syllable is going to make is going to be go. But if you put the same letter in front of O, it is going to be ko. For example, a lot of foreign words that have been just written in Korean letters like kopi or computer, they all use the letter O because it is, I don't know, it's a little bit softer. It's not like O, where it comes from the throat. So yeah, I hope that made it anyhow easier to understand, these two letters. Now moving on to a little bit easier one, which is U, which pretty much all of us can pronounce, where you, I don't know, when you see something funny or interesting, you're like, ooh. It's like, or surprising, you're just like, ooh. So, ooh, that's the sound that it is. Nothing really complicated. I don't think we should spend too much time on it, so yeah, let's just move on. All the letters that I mentioned so far, and all the letters that I will mention, can have an extra stroke added to them, adding a y sound to them. So basically, if you had an a, adding a stroke would make it a ya. If you had an o, it would be a yo. Then o, yo, having a u, you would have a u. Uyu, uyu. Yeah, that means milk for any of you who don't know. Yeah, I try to be funny. So yeah, that's a pattern that you can notice in Korean, that if you add another stroke, it adds a y sound to the letter. Then there are 2 other letters that don't have that, and then 2 more that do. So let's deal with ones that don't, because they're quite simple. And then the last 2 letters that I'm keeping for the end are just so annoying to me, because I always put one instead of the other, and it pisses me off. Anyways, the next letter is E, and that's quite easy for us English speakers or non-English speakers to pronounce, because I'm pretty sure most other languages have the sound E in them. In Russian, the sound E actually means and, so we use that a lot. So yeah, it's an easy sound. You just kind of stretch your lips and show your teeth a little bit, and it's as if you're smiling. Eee. Yeah. The next letter is To me, it sounds more like a divider between 2 consonants, like 사람들. There isn't much sound coming there. It's just more of like a sound, as if sound is similar to that one when you make when you're carrying something really heavy on you, and you're like ugh. It's that kind of sound. For all of you Russian speakers, we kind of have something similar in Russian, which is the letter U, but that's a little bit too strong, and it comes from like right here. Last 2 letters that I want to talk about are E and E. Yep, both completely identical freaking sounds. Like, what? I had such a difficult time comprehending that at the beginning when I was learning Korean. In romanization, these 2 letters do have different English equivalent. This one has an AE equivalent, which is E, and this one has the E equivalent, which can be pronounced as an E as well. Ooh, the sun is starting to set, and the lighting in the room is starting to get really, really shitty. So I'm gonna try and finish this off quickly. I'm not gonna get into diphthongs today, because that's a whole other world. A whole new world. It is totally another subject, which I will definitely dedicate another video to. So yeah, basically the last 2 vowels sound the same. Yep, that's it. We can go now. Bye! As I was making this video, I really tried to get into this and read a lot of information about it from my textbook or from the internet, and at the end of the day, what I found out is that E and E make the same sound. They literally sound the same. There might have probably been a difference back in the olden days, but nowadays the difference has been lost, and you seriously pronounce them absolutely the same. E and E. It's an open sound, you kind of, a little bit of a smile, you go eh. The sound is similar to when someone says something really, really stupid, or you just don't get what someone says and you're like, eh? Yeah, eh, 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 eh. Okay, I don't normally just make random sounds at home, okay? Okay, maybe I do. If any of you have any more insight on these vowels or on any other vowels that I mentioned in the video, please let me know. I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I will see you all on Monday when I upload a cover while I'm still here in Israel. Alright, I'll see you guys all soon. Bye!